One, we need reforms in the political party structures. I'm going to begin by talking about political party structures because there are so many young women and so many young people that are infiltrating the systems so they are able to run this country. Political party structures cannot use women as just, women that are part of an organization or part of a movement. They have to be at the forefront of running most of these structures. They have to be at the forefront of decision making. So if we see them making decisions, if we see they are safe in the spaces where they are making these decisions and they are put to the forefront, we feel that in terms of representation, that is a thing that can be achieved. And if it's achieved from there, we feel more women will be able to step forward and run for presidency. Secondly, there have to be reforms in both the legal and the electoral processes. The electoral processes have so many incumbencies that still hinder young women from participating, that still hinder young people from participating in politics. The high nomination fees, very many structural barriers. The high nomination fees, how will a young woman who is even coming from a marginalized background be able to afford 20 million for nomination fees? That's a very high fee. They do not have resources. We know that majority of them are the least paid. So how would they afford to be able to be part of these processes if they are not incentivized to be able to run? But also the violence that is associated with politics. A lot of women, especially young women, look at what happens to several women who run, and they decide for themselves that that's not a space they want to be associated with. Politics is associated with risk, and it's supposed to be the other way around. Politics is supposed to be a ray of hope for so many people. But it has been associated with risk because it has become extremely violent. Women enter those spaces, they are threatened, they are intimidated, smear campaigns, someone would threaten you that they're going to leak nudes. It should not be happening. They should be feeling very safe to run. And for them to feel safe to run, there have to be policies in place and laws that are protecting them against such things. Largely, they also need resources. Empowerment in terms of economic resources is very important because without resources, without them being resourced, it's very hard for them to run and ably compete. Without resources, so many marginalized voices who mostly contribute to young people and women are put on the sidelines. They can't meaningfully contribute because they do not have the resources that are associated with most of these processes. So they need to be incentivized again, given grants, given resources where they can, access to land. They need to be able to make money so they are also able to participate in majority of these processes. If we have resources as women, I am very sure, because you can see now the nature of politics in this country. It requires money. It requires billions of money that most of us don't have. Most of us are running on courage, but if we had money, we are capable of winning this country, even for years to come. So they need the resources. Largely the political violence, it has to come to